Hello, we're going to make elk jerky. I have 9 pounds of elk that has already been chopped up and it's ready to be either stew meat or for me to grind it and turn it into jerky. First thing we're going to do to cure jerky, you must have salt. And I know I have 9 pounds of elk, so I need 2 teaspoons of salt per every pound. So I don't have to measure it while I'm grinding, I'm just going to set aside 1, 2, 8, 9. Now it seems like a lot of salt, but this is the curing process and this is very important in making jerky. Now I'm going to take apart my meat. These are no particular side of elk. What this is when we cut up the elk, the little portions that get cut off I actually set aside, so there could be tenderloin in here right with round steak. The same time there's a 7 cut. So this is all just chunks of meat, and why I don't have to marinate is because I'm going to grind them, and I'm going to add in my seasonings while I'm going. The salt, of course, is for curing. This is liquid smoke, gives it a great little aftertaste. We have Worcestershire sauce. We have a nice elk steak seasoning. This is just a Montreal steak seasoning. This really brings in some great flavors. We have a little bit of Tabasco sauce, not too much, otherwise people complain. This is a bourbon whiskey, Nob Hill. This really gives it a great taste. And last but not least, Pizza Hut crushed red pepper packets. This is a secret ingredient. Alright, I'm going to start grinding, and as I'm grinding I'm going to add the salt, make sure it's evenly mixed, and I'm going to add my seasonings as I'm going along. Then I'm going to grind the whole thing again before dehydrating it. Here we go. Now I used to do it by hand with a hand crank, but that used to take me all day. This will only take a few minutes. Okay, this is an American Harvester dehydrator. It can dehydrate anything from meat to fruits. They have 6 trays. I have 2 of these dehydrators. Each tray can hold a little over a pound if you really jam it in tight, but if you want it to dehydrate faster, you just separate it a little bit. What we're making is like a Slim Jim. And this is a Jerky Cannon. We're going to fill this with the ground meat that's already seasoned, and we're going to put it into the dehydrator. Now I used to take it, and this was a little one right here, and you would take and fill this. This took a long time. This actually is electric. When I fill this with meat, it will send meat through this. Talk about your Slim Jim, huh? Pure elk, no fat, seasoned Slim Jim. Something I like to do, this is the experimental part, I like to try different things with different sections. So what I've done is I've numbered all of my trays. So with trays number 7 and 8, I'm going to brush on a little bit of buffalo hot wing sauce. So it just tastes like hot wings, and it's really interesting how people can notice the difference. What do I do with my brush? Here it is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some, and I'm just going to brush some of this along the top of the jerky. And it's going to dehydrate, and it'll create a little crust on top of that that's got a unique flavor for elk jerky. It's going to taste like hot wings. And so I'm going to do 2 trays of this, because sometimes people like this better than the normal. Now we've dehydrated for 12 hours. adding the extra liquids actually increases your dehydration time. Makes sense. So instead of 10 hours of dehydrating, it was 12 hours of dehydrating, and I left it with just unplugged until the next day. So actually it's just been sitting in here cooling off. Cut it with scissors into small pieces. Just cut the ends to make them all approximately the same size. Now I'm going to take and fill up Ziploc bags. These little pieces of jerky will last a very long time because there's no moisture in them and it's filled with salt. And then if you have one of those machines that take the air out, that really helps preserve it. And this stuff will last for a month. But what I do is I just take and put a straw in the Ziploc bag. And get whatever air out I can. And there we have dehydrated elk jerky. And I like to test it. Oh, we'll test another piece. Okay, test it. Okay, so this is one long piece of dehydrated.
Sure. I'll do it if you want.